as we head into our first game, where this player, Neeb, currently tied for first place in the group. Well, Scarlet just won, so has a potential to be tied for first place in the group with a 5-1 record. In the red, representing Ting and the United States of America, it is Neeb. USA, USA, USA.
And his opponent in the bottom left, he is representing Root. And not only does he represent Root, this Pat's birthday today, so he's representing Pat's on his birthday, therefore he needs to win. He is the blue Pro Tour player. It's DisK.
Canada. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same ring.
I didn't know he was Canadian, actually. This is, of course, the scene that I am... usually the time zones are very far out for me, but it looks like he's Canadian. He's like French-Canadian. He is from Quebec, I believe.
Quebecois. Grant, if I was to announce a player from the UK and I wanted to build hype, so say Razorblader's playing a game, and I want to build some hype, but I'm like, it's Razorblader from the UK. I can't go USA. What chant can I do after a British player to hype up the crowd?
We don't chant. We just start singing the British national anthem.
Oh, gross.
Just put your hand over your heart and go, God save our gracious parents.
Your national anthem. I know that the American national anthem is not great, but God Save the Queen is terrible. It's like a funeral dirge.
I know, it's so bad. In this game, we do have Neeb. He does have a proxy pylon down, but it doesn't look like he's going to be using it, as he has decided to just move on for a scout. No tech being thrown down on that pylon.
Right.
Neeb going to be starting off with double a deck. We have Stalker here coming out of DisK, who kept all his pylons at home like a good, honourable boy.
Can I interrupt you with one more fun fact about your national anthem?
Yes.
Do you know that we have stolen it as well for one of our patriotic songs?
No?
Yeah, that exact tune, the one that you know as God Save the Queen, every American knows as My Country 'Tis of Thee. And when we sing it, it's My Country 'Tis of Thee, sweet land.
Yeah, it is, you're right.
Right? It's terrible. We've stolen it lock, stock, and barrel, as we did for our actual national anthem, which is based on an old British drinking song.
Wow, you guys are nasty. I mean, to be honest, the real national anthem for us, and especially if you know anything about England, is 3 lions on a shirt.
And the national anthem for America is actually Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. So really
good one.
Anyway, these two adepts going to try and sneak up into the main base, but the Stalker should force the cancel there. Very standard openings here. No tier 2 tech yet from either player, Grant.
No, both players looking like they're going to be placing down an expansion very shortly. We see Neeb gets his first, but DisK is only going to be a moment behind or so. Actually, no, it's about halfway behind. These adepts are annoying. They are going to be forced to recall here. As Neeb uncharacteristically makes a small mistake and lets that shade finish. He may have just wanted to get a little bit more vision into the main here to see if he could maybe see any tech. Enforcing a recall here isn't bad. We do see the Robo go down for Neeb, and I'd expect DisK will be throwing down either a Twilight or a Robo of his own very shortly.
Yeah, with those Stalkers out first, of course, that's a lot of gas committed and sentries behind it as well. You generally don't have the gas for a Stargate once those units pop out. And look at that Castradamus over here, Grant, nailing it. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener from DisK. Now, we've got a Robo versus Twilight. Grant, is there inherently an advantage with one of these openers against the other?
Ultimately, it comes down how you play it. Robo is always good because Immortals are such a key unit in this composition. Of course, when you play Twilight like this, you're going to have Archons a little bit quicker as well. And Archons are the other really key bulky unit in this composition. And neither one really beats the other straight up. The advantage of Robo is you'll have better detection, you'll have better map observation. With things like Observers, you'll be able to harass with prisms. The advantage of Twilight is that you have Blink or Quicker Zealot Charge, which is very big in the fights. So it's sort of inherently even. It's more a stylistic choice because when you get one, you get the other anyway. As long as you have a Forge working alongside them, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and both players do have that Forge down. Neebs is finished up. He just hasn't started +1. Oh, there it is. Speak and it shall be so, as the potter breathes life into the clay. +1 starting on both sides now, but as you said earlier, this earlier Immortal from Neeb is going to be a huge factor when these players finally come up. Right now, the other tech looking fairly even. We got Blink coming down from DisK and the Twilight Council finishing up. Going to be Charge Lot Immortal out of Neeb, and looks to be just a +1 Blink timing here out of DisK, who still has not dropped down that Robo. And that means his army is going to be considerably weaker. He's going to have to be a lot more nimbly-bimbly with those Stalkers.
That sounds very English. Nimbly bimbly, we'd say that.
It's from it's from Super Troopers.
Oh, the first one? I never watched the second one.
Oh no, it's the first one. Do I look like a cat to you?
Oh yeah,
Am I drinking milk out of a saucer?
You're right.
Bimbly from a tree.
Get out of the car, meow, please. Yeah, so DisK has opted for a much quicker third, getting it at around the 5-minute mark, which is very quick. Now, Neeb scouting it in nice timing means, although Neeb's third is a little bit behind, Neeb knows right now he's pretty confident in that he could probably get out on the map pretty soon. Instead, he is just waiting for this pressure coming in here from DisK. And actually, DisK managed to catch his base. I actually think if DisK had straight up targeted the Nexus and controlled well with Blink, he might have been able to get a cancel. Instead, he is going to be forced to run the heck away. But he kills 2 probes. It's nice for DisK.
Yeah, those are, I'm not sure if you saw different probes going down. I believe those are DisK probes going down on the other side of the map for Neeb.
Neeb you're right, yeah.
3 probes with those adepts in the main base.
Yeah, it was 1 probe that went down at the other side.
Yeah, but I agree with you there. DisK maybe focus firing down that pylon was a fool's errand. He was guaranteed he'd get the pylon down. I think maybe he should have gone for the Nexus. At the end of the day, it would have been a really difficult push to get that Nexus down, but keep a little out of position here. This Immortal's going to get caught by these Stalkers. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the Immortal might crew him backwards instead of up towards the battery is slightly confusing there, but it ended up being the right play because he did manage to save it when the reinforcements came in. Now, Zealot Legs is done here for Neeb, and this may be the trigger for Neeb to pull the trigger and start moving across the map. He's adding on 6 gateways, so Neeb is certainly looking to add some fire, a little bit of Flava Flav to his push very, very soon. And you can see here he's going to chase down a few of his Stalkers and just try and pick off whatever he can early. But we'll be expecting to see Neeb push out. Oh my god, a couple of nice shots there. Immortals are so sexy.
Oh man, they really are. You can really see the difference in the builds becoming highlighted right now. The army supply is almost even for these players, but as you said, Neeb just adding on his last couple gateways. DisK has been on 6 gateways now for an awful long time. He's up to 8 now as well. And Neeb only now getting up to 5 and then 6. And eventually 7. So Neeb a little bit behind that gateway production, but with the 3 Immortals making up the core of his army and the Archons already out for Neeb, he is in such a solid position. His army just so much bulkier, even though DisK's army supply count might be a little higher.
And DisK might have just walked himself into a bit of a difficult position there. These Stalkers have been doing okay, but he is starting to lose maybe a few too many for my liking. At the other side of the map, we are seeing an observer from Neeb seeing absolutely everything. He sees what's going on. He sees the Twilight. He sees, you know, the gate. The Forge is working away. You can keep an eye on the upgrades and things as well from anything warping in. But Neeb definitely has, in my opinion, the stronger army right now. Equal Archon count, equal Stalker count almost. Sure, DisK has much more Zealots, but Neeb has these 3 Immortals, and they're going to be able to take down the Archons of DisK very quickly. Going to take down the Stalkers very quickly, leaving it to just be Archon, Zealot, Stalker, Immortal on top of Zealots. And the Zealots don't win that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to ask any Protoss player, would you rather have 7 Zealots in your army or 3 Immortals? I think that answer would come pretty quickly. So I like Neeb's position. I will say DisK has +2, almost about to finish up, slightly ahead. If he could like thread the needle and get this really, really tight timing, he might be able to take an upgrade advantage, but it looks like he's not moving out. He's not looking to press that advantage, and Neeb should have plenty of time to catch up on the upgrades. Neeb adding on the Dark Shrine behind this for maybe a little DT action.
Yeah, a little bit of harassment. Adding a couple of DTs in with every Zealot run by makes them much, much more deadly, especially to probe lines where they can one-shot. It forces more static defense, more cost to be put towards it. You can see photon cannons are being added to the bases anyway here. From DisK, he knows it's about the time that DTs could show up because the economy is good enough for them to be dribbled in. Neeb is now moving out though, and he does have a very strong army. Army supply, take a look, 90 to 67. His +2 is finished, so he's dead even on upgrades, and his Prism is here, and it looks like Neeb is looking for some fun.
Yeah, ever since Neeb got his 3rd base finished up, he's been way ahead in economy, just, I think, saturating and macroing just a little bit more strongly than his opponent. DisK adding on that Robo Bay, but unfortunately, he's not going to have time to get those Disruptors out before Neeb goes for the attack. Now, DisK does not see this attack coming. His Observer or Probe going to the 4th base might see it now, and he's going to realize, wait a minute, whoa, I'm definitely not getting a 4th anytime soon, and he's going to go ahead and move out.
Yeah, we have a Zealot run by queued up here at the north side of the map for DisK. It's going to surround the cannon, force a warp in. Probably 1 DT will clean this up. Just a Zealot. Well, that's not going to be enough, my friend. It will require a little bit more here to be cleaned up eventually. A few probes going down here, actually. This 3 Zealot run by is doing a lot, and it might even force Neeb home. No, okay, he's going to clean it up. Where's Neeb going? I just wanted to check the tower, make sure there was nothing spooky going on at the other side. And Neeb now going to continue to produce probes. Army supply has evened up. DisK has managed to get that one sorted. And Neeb perhaps had a window of opportunity there that he wasn't able to take.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Missed opportunity, to be certain. He did slow that fourth base from going down and certainly put the fear of God into DisK a little bit. DisK realizing that he needed to get out on the map and establish that fourth base. Luckily, on Ice and Chrome, the fourth base, pretty easy to defend here. There is a ramp going on from the low ground, but it takes forever to get there. Really the only place you have to defend is this narrow choke point, which Protoss players love. I will say that buying that time, that bit of indecision from Neeb, you see him coming back now, but that bit of indecision has allowed DisK to scrub in one disruptor into his army. He's now making disruptors 2 at a time off his double robo, and one good disruptor shot, as always, Grant, could change the course of the game.
Yeah, but when those Phoenixes already being added in here from Neeb, all they need to do is lift up those disruptors and those shots get cancelled, and that's exactly Neeb is looking to counter the tech choice here of DisK. Very nice either read or prediction or just understanding of what DisK is going to do. Now DisK is still in a great spot because those Phoenixes only have to make one small mistake and they will absolutely destroy this army. It is very Archon heavy and they can afford to take a disruptor hit also. But I really do like Neeb's army right now. Let's take a look at what it consists of. 11 Archons. Wow.
And
I mean, that says it all.
As we keep saying, those 3 Immortals from the very beginning of the game, such a big difference. We see +3 finishing up. Neeb with a little Zealot run by here. Shield Battery Overcharge being used in the 9 o'clock base. There's also a little Fractus going on in Neeb's base as well. Looks like a DT from Neeb has been requisitioned in to deal with these. But Neeb getting a lot of damage done on the other side of the map. All the Zealots from DisK pulled over to that 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we have another warp in here in Neeb's main base, but the Prism will go down eventually to the Phoenixes. 10 workers die each. Dead even trades here. And who does this favor? Right now, Neeb has still way more workers, so I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, if you're even on workers, or if you're ahead on workers and there's an even trade, it favors you because then percentage-wise, you have way more workers than your opponent, and that's really the name of the game. Is what's your advantage relative to your opponent's strength? Both players moving out here. Neeb should see this before DisK does. I'm not sure if either player really wants to take this fight.
Yeah, both players are sort of posturing a little bit now. Neeb specifically doesn't need to take this fight. He's getting shield upgrades. He's getting +1 air weapons. He's getting Phoenix range from his Fleet Bacon, and he's getting Shadow Stride for his DTs. So all of his upgrades are just going to be ready in about 30, 40 seconds. He's getting in carriers already. Neeb's starting to make that big transition.
Now, this is normally a place that I caution Protoss players about. This is... Oh, pardon me, Grant. One moment, please.
Yeah, no worries. This is normally a place where I caution Protoss players because they are going to be vulnerable as carriers come out. Carriers take up a lot of supply that you're not going to be able to use efficiently, and they're very slow. You also need at least really 4 or 5 to be very effective. One carrier, very easy to deal with. When you have this many Phoenixes, it's a slightly different story. But they are generally easy to deal with.
Grant, that is literally exactly what I was going to say.
I know. I can tell.
Nailed it. We've been casting that for 2 weeks now, man. It's starting to mesh together.
Yeah, I'm reading your mind.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. That Phoenix flyby at the 9 o'clock, by the way, taking out 10 more probes for DisK. DisK now down 26 probes to Neeb's 15. Neeb finally finding some economic advantage in this game with the armies he's killed, with the units he's killed. But the army supply for DisK is still slightly higher. These Phoenix might be zoned out with the Archons. If these Phoenix try and fly over this Archon to pick up a disruptor, they're gonna have to sacrifice themselves because they're gonna evaporate. But here we go, Grant. Big fight.
Oh my god, there was so many feedbacks onto all of the Phoenixes. Purification Novas come out and they're pretty good here for DisK. DisK has a supply advantage. Another Purification Nova gets a big connection, but Archons can take it. Carrier comes in, but it's just that one carrier. And all of these Archons can stand and fight and they can kill these interceptors. You can see the carriers already run out of interceptors. And now it is mass Archon against not as many Archons. And with the disruptors in the back, DisK is doing well. At the other side of the map, though, DisK is hemorrhaging workers to Dark Templars. He needs to find more damage now.
Yeah, I don't know how Neeb is still alive in this fight. DisK has had a better concave, more surface area. All the Archons firing at the same time.
He sniped the observers.
It's the DTs. That's exactly what it is. Oh my god, Neeb pulling it out here with some sick DT play. The observer might be joining this fight. There's still one observer out for DisK, and it's right. Where is it? Yeah.
It's just arrived, literally just arrived, despite the Prism. But it arrived so late, and disruptors, how many disruptors died in that fight? 3 disruptors died in that fight. The carrier somehow is alive, and there's already 3 more carriers in, and I believe they're all about to pop at about the same time. 2 of them are going to pop at the same time, and that is a huge growth here. Behind this, we can see Neeb is still up in supply. His upgrades are getting good now. He's got +2 air weapons, meaning these carriers pack a bit of a punch. Oh my god, you're leading with an Archon that has like 1 shield. Now... Yeah, disruptors are still a problem here. Oh, these carriers look like spooky.
They look awesome.
Ghost carriers.
They look so good. I think Neeb's still in a really strong position in these DTs, of course. If he's able to snag that Observer yet again, he will be able to have unlimited power against DisK's army. And,
oh my god.
Man, there's the... Oh my gosh! Wow, look
nice.
at those recalls on that Purification Nova. Nice dodges there from DisK, bouncing back and forth. But yeah, we can see already the DT forcing a recall back here. But what I really love about Neeb's army right now is that not just the DTs that will turn into Archons eventually, the carriers that are adding on extra DPS, but yeah, once he grabs that Observer, DisK simply has nothing. He has to make more disruptors out of his robo, and he can't afford to take the time to stop disruptor production to get out more observers. So there's like one keystone unit in the army right now of DisK, and if it goes down, the whole house of cards is gonna tumble like a stack of dominoes. Checkmate, Grant.
Yeah, my concern right now is the carrier count is getting very, very high. And what is the answer? You can see the Archons are trying to fight. Disruptors will be lifted, but the Archons of Neeb, whilst the Archons with DisK are fighting interceptors, are destroying the force. The supply takes a change. Neeb just can't kill everything. The carriers became too much. Looks like Neeb will be taking game 1 of the series when DisK realizes that he's proper dead.
Proper dead, exactly right. Stalker's trying to pick off some of the Phoenix here, but the Phoenix are hunting them for sport right now. We got DTs coming in. The DT's going to explode. Oh, I thought they were going to explode on the Zealots of DisK, but it doesn't matter. Neeb grabs a game 1 win. A little closer, though, than our first series was, Grant.
Yeah, definitely. DisK had some really, really nice moves. That fight into the third, when there was only one carrier, was insanely close. And if the DC pressure wasn't at the other side of the map, we'd have seen probably a different game there. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how DisK played, but Neeb is just so bloody good.
Man, there's nothing that's untrue about what you've just said. DisK is good, but Neeb is also incredible. We're going to be getting in here to game number 2. Right now it's Grant versus DisK. Good luck, buddy. Oh, no, they swapped you out. Okay, it's actually going to be Neeb versus
I will cannon rush the living shit out of that kid.
Nice. Well, game 2 will be on Eternal Empire, which is a more familiar map for both these players. Our last game on Ice and Chrome, one of the new maps from the map pool. And this time we're on Eternal Empire. Both players should be very comfortable. I might expect to see fewer proxies on these maps because the players know all the proxy locations. I feel like it's a little easier to scout.
Yeah, Eternal Empire is one of those maps where the proxy locations are pretty figured out. There are some very nice proxy Stargate locations on this map, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see something like that. I think Robo's harder because the center of the map is pretty closed. You go down these pretty narrow alleyways throughout most of the map, and it means it's pretty easy to scout. But we'll see a standard start.
Yeah, I think so. As we hop into game here, I'll introduce our first player in the top right-hand side in the red. Currently 2 and 3 in this tournament. Really needs a win if he wants to have a chance at any of those top 4 spots. From Root Gaming and Canada, it's DisK.
And his opponent, one of the greatest Protoss players to ever play the game and represent non-Koreans. He is the red-blue Protoss player.
Nailed it.
From Ting. It's Neeb.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about North American Protoss players, and rarely have we seen one with dominance over the scene like Neeb for so long. I think Neeb's probably crowning achievement. He's got a lot of big wins under his belt. His crowning achievement might be that he is the only one of 2 foreigners to ever reach the GSL round of 4 when he was living in Korea in 2018. And that is not something you see every day.
Can you name the other ones that made it to the round of 4 in the GSL?
There's just 2 of them. It's Neeb and Jinro, I believe.
Where did Huck? Was Huck only round of 8?
I think round of 8. Yeah, you could probably check for me better than I could.
I
could tell you. I count on you. Yeah, I think round of 8 is a little more populated. I believe Special and Scarlet have both made round of 8 before. And yeah. I think Huck might have made it in. I'm really not sure. The old days of the GSL, I wasn't following the Korean scene quite as closely as I was, you know, the MLGs and things like that. So
yeah,
those old days of yore are a little beyond me. But I'm pretty sure that I'm fairly confident that Neeb is one of the only foreigners to make such a sick run in the GSL. I remember that because I was there for all of those. That was during my time of attending GSL lives, and
well, that's sick.
It felt great as an American for my first couple months of attending the GSL for Neeb to be tearing it up.
Maybe Huck never played in GSL. He made the quarterfinals, yeah.
Yeah.
Alongside the second player ever to do so, second foreigner ever to do so after Idra. There we go. I knew I was somewhere. My man, Greg Fields. Okay, so in terms of this game, we're looking at everything pretty standard. I'm not seeing any pylons out on the map. In fact, they all seem to be at home. And yeah, we're going to be seeing a bit of a macro opening from these two.
Yeah, we expect to see Nexi placed very quickly. And should see those expansions going down quite quickly for both players, as those pylons on the low ground are indicative that they'll want to expand. We do see a couple cute little adepts coming down from DisK here, and it looks like the adepts on the top side for Neeb also going around the top. But I think both players should be fine. Neeb has 2 more stalkers popping out. DisK is going to have 2 adepts popping out, and everything should be just going along straight away here. You can trade some fire there in the main base of Neeb, or in the main base of DisK rather, and DisK going to try and maybe cause some trouble in the main base of Neeb, but these stalkers will be returned back home. Early game PvP is so fascinating, Grant, because both players, I feel like both Protoss players really just want to execute their build as best they can. And if they don't get harassed, they're like, you know what, I'm not doing any harassment, that's fine. I'm just doing my build properly, and I know I can win in the late game.
Yeah, PvP at this stage of the game is all about not forgetting to throw down a pylon or a battery and letting adepts in. You let adepts in, the game ends. It is the one mistake you can make in this matchup, apart from not scouting where the second pylon is, that can just immediately end the game. And it's very scary because it still does happen at the top level. You just don't pay attention for a quarter second. You didn't see where those adepts came from. You know, they came the wrong way around or something like that, and you don't know they're there. 2 adepts get in, you lose 10 workers, game's over. But we're seeing proper macro from these two. Forges going down, Twilight Council for Neeb this time, and DisK is getting the Robo. So we've got a bit of a reverso here.
I love it when this happens in the in-game too. Both players are like, yeah, you know that build, oh my god, DisK is into Neeb's main here. There are stalkers and sentries, but a couple of probes might go down here.
Yeah, this was really good. It even forced a recall of a couple of adepts of Neeb. We're going to see 3 workers go down. This was a big pickup for DisK. I know it only looks like 3 workers, but he also pulled all of the army back. He's going to continue looking for this as well. Pylon will go down this time, and the shade should get cancelled. There's no way, DisK, right? Okay, good.
I mean, yeah, as you said, people are like, oh, it's only 3 workers, but look at the worker count right now. That is 10% of your workforce. Imagine if you walked into work tomorrow and your boss said, hey, I'm cutting your pay by 10%, but no big deal, right? You might be a little disappointed. I'm sure Neeb was a lot disappointed as well. He's not a player who tolerates mistakes very well. So we'll see how he responds to this. We see +1 and Blink on the way.
Neeb now trying to move in as well, but DisK is going to be on top of it, throwing down that battery to hit the block. He doesn't let the shade complete here. Actually, these adepts are going to try and run into the natural. I think they've got 1 probe there, but they will go down. Oh, actually getting 2. I mean, they both go down 2. It's pretty good. It's not great. Both players have now killed 3 workers. The main thing for DisK is he still has a bunch of adepts as a threat. Although maybe not for too long.
Oh, Grant, the adepts from Neeb do sneak into the main. They're going to get surrounded by the probes here, which is never what you want to defend with. 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 should be it.
8 is going to die. Oh my gosh. That's exactly what Neeb did there to take on this fight.
Come on.
These adepts are getting on top of the sentries. This is really nice. Target firing from DisK. They're picking up 1, 2 sentries, but
he's losing so much.
Yeah, he is going to pay the price. Neeb ahead now on army supply and ahead on workers. This is looking rough.
Yeah, Neeb's executed very, very well this game. His army is now starting to take off. His blink is almost done. His +1 is almost done. He's getting a dark shrine very early. Like, this is one of the earlier dark shrines for sure. You can go for it like super quick as an all-in. But in terms of Neeb knows he's ahead. And when you're ahead, what do? You know your opponent is going to cut corners, so you make their life hell for doing so. Right now, DisK needs to be making probes, and army so he doesn't die. So what's gonna be missed? Static defense. Maybe an observer isn't squeaked out, and you can see there is no observer. And that's what Neeb is relying on.
Yeah, DisK dropping down 3 more gates here to try and power up a gateway army eventually. I'd like this little stalker move out from Neeb, though. Will be spotted, of course, by the hallucinated Phoenix, which means he'll be able to move into position and shouldn't be too worried about this. Even look at that, even pulling back some of the adepts, so the adepts don't get target firing down there. But with Neeb's blink micro, he's going to get on top of these sentries here. 1 sentry down, 2 sentries down, 3 sentries down, but the Immortal should clean this up. Ooh, a very deep dive from Neeb there. Not sure that was worth it.
No, because there was a purpose to this. How now does DisK scout?
That's a great point, Grant. He can't.
He doesn't. Precisely, which means these DTs are going to be unseen, and DisK is going to be in a lot of trouble unless he gets an observer very, very quickly. He still hasn't made one. Still none queued up in that production tab. Dark Shrine is done. Do we have a any location. Are there DTs out yet? No.
There is one forward pylon here at the 3 o'clock that Neeb could use to sneak into the main. I'm surprised we haven't seen DTs already warped in here. The longer this game goes on, the worse the DTs are going to be. In fact, DisK already has that observer 3/4 of the way done, so Neeb has missed his timing window for DTs, but maybe he just wants it for those budget Archons. Both players starting on +2, Charge starting up for DisK.
Neeb adding on a couple of DTs now. It does look like they're being made at home. Yep, and they're going to start running across the map. There is still, of course, always the potential for DTs to find an angle. There is still no static defense. It doesn't look like Neeb's main hasn't been scouted in a very, very long time, in fact, which means they are still very much a threat. And Neeb is looking. He's up so much supply still. Where is the observer right now? It's with the army. And that's exactly what Neeb's going to check right now, is where is the army? Can I pull the army to the left while my DT's running to the right? And here it goes. Oh, this is so good, Neeb.
DT's into the natural. DT's up over the third as well. He's going to make sure that observer stays over the army. But DT's are in now, main and natural. And here we go. Grant, what's your estimate on how many probes are going to die here?
The pull on the natural is very good. In the main, I'd say we'll get 10 around 10. Oh god, they're all going into the main. 6. Okay, it's been a pretty okay defense for sure. Second observer comes out. Yeah, I think definitely around 10 was a pretty good estimate. Oh god, the DT's still in the natural. No, just kidding. It's going to be like 50. Oh, yep. Neeb, you're gross.
He's done such a good job hiding these DTs around. Finally, the observer will clean this one up, but the DT in the main is still working away to gateway for no reason. Neeb should, yeah, he's going right back. Oh my god, this is just getting worse and worse here for DisK. Down to 42 workers to Neeb's 60. Finally, that last DT cleaned up. The Blink Stalkers are here to respond in kind and pick off everything they can, including one additional pylon.
And another worker as well. These Blink Stalkers they've actually managed to trap the army between a rock and a hard place. And they're just going to be able to blink away, kite a few of these units behind this. 4th base going down here for Neeb. There was a run by attempt here from DisK, attempt being the key word because it did not work out. And Neeb is just, he's running away with it at the moment.
Yeah, as you said, adding on that 4th base, the 6 o'clock position. +3 already started for Neeb, whereas +2 is still in progress for DisK. So the upgrade advantage timing will be very tight here, but Neeb's slightly ahead. And I like that these Stalkers from Neeb. I think people might say, like, wait a minute, these Stalkers aren't getting anything done. He's just losing Stalkers for free. I think these Stalkers are nothing more than to deter DisK and try and keep him back home. These DTs tearing apart the 3rd base right now. And DisK has had enough. He's like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go right now. But he's attacking with a 48 army supply into 71, up a ramp into Neeb's 3rd.
Neeb is so big balls as well. He hallucinates a bunch of disrupt